Hello everyone, it's Jean from Inky Studio. Thank you for stopping by for a little chat today. I am still working. This is part 3 of the Edith Holden folio that I've been putting together. It's a little longer than usual because I'm working on 3 different little elements in the folio. And it's a relaxed tutorial. I'm showing you how to put things together, but it's not a formal tutorial. It's just, we're just sort of crafting along type of a presentation. But before I get started on that, I did want to bring out something new, or kind of new for me, and that is the community page tab on my YouTube homepage. And let me cut away for just a minute. So this is the page you get when you open one of my videos. And to get to the home page of mine or anybody's is to click on their icon down here by their name, the lower left. And click onto that. And then you're going to get these tabs here. You're going to get home, videos, playlists, and then you'll get one that says community. And then there's channels, which is channels that I watch, and there's the About Me page. So click onto the community, and up will pop this posting. And I am still learning how to post, and it ended up being backwards. I wanted the first one to be the one at the very bottom. But anyways, there's a little introduction up there. And down below that photograph, we place to make a comment. So you can click on, make a comment, and then you can type in your encouragement down here and post it underneath that photograph. So that is how the community page works. So now you know how to get to the community tab and how to make a post. I encourage you to do that today. I would like us to give Kristen encouragement for the great job that she did, and maybe it'll her project will also give you some more inspiration on some of the possibilities that you can do. I would really like to hear from you if you have worked on a project viewing one of my videos, and even if it's a small thing, even if it's just a tag or a pocket, or it doesn't have to be a big major project by any means, just something to share with the community. I think that we can get a lot of inspiration from one another. And I don't have a Facebook page. I don't really have the time to keep one up, but yet I think it's kind of fun to at least take a peek at what we're all doing. And I feel this is a real easy way for you to do that. And if you have some a couple photos of something, I would so appreciate if you would email them to me. All right, let's do and work on the right side of our folio now that we've got this side done. What I did was I printed on a piece of lightweight cardstock, but you don't have to do that. If you just, good heavyweight scrapbook paper would have the same effect and be just as good. And we're going to do a flip pocket here for this side. So first I'm going to score the fold line, and I'm just going to score in like an inch. And then I'm going to put a second score line in, and the second score line is going to be another 1/4 of an inch. So I'm making a 1/4 of an inch score line, if I can see it here amongst all the glare. This is going to make some room for bulk, is what I'm trying to do. Because if you remember, our spine is a 1/2 inch. So this is going to be like half of that spine. And I'm just going to go ahead and burnish it. So this is going to be the flap. I'm also going to come in and miter the corners a little bit on each side, like that. Now I'm going to take this side and I'm going to fold in, but I'm not going to fold right to that second score line. Just like 1/8 of an inch, just a hair on this side is where I'm going to place it at. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and burnish right down this side like so. Now I probably shouldn't have mitered that corner because I forgot that I also need to measure how tall I want the pocket to be. So I don't want the pocket to come up over there. I think on the other one, let me look at that real fast. Yeah, the other one, it was like right around this area, right about here. So I'm going to take off about 1.5 inches from that. I'm going to cut that off. And of course that is up to you. What kind of how tall of a pocket you want on this side. So for me, that's about right. It's about where I want that to be. All right, now we mitered that corner. So now you have the option of doing something to making a window because your folder is all open. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a die cut and I'm going to cut a circle out here in the middle so that my tag, you can see part of the tag when it goes in. And but you don't need a die cut. You can take like a glass or a cup and draw a circle and cut it out by hand. You can make a square. Another idea that you can do if you have several places on your tag, so if we just pretend this is our tag, you have a bird here and a bird down here, you could take your punch, your hole punch, and punch a hole down here and punch a hole up there, and then you could have like two, maybe a large punch and a small punch. You know, it doesn't have to be just one hole. So that's something else you might want to think about doing if you don't have a die cut. But I do, so I'm going to go and die cut that off camera and I'll be right back. All right, my die cut is in with my circle. And I did not have, I looked around for a tag where I could have an object peek out, and I wasn't satisfied with anything that I could find on her floral pages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue on here onto cardstock a piece of her word, of her writing, which actually is very lovely. I wish I had handwriting like that. And by itself, it's an art form. You know, it really was an art form then. Okay, and then we'll just glue on the words, and they're going up and down to, first of all, I kind of want to conserve my pages a little bit, and instead of just putting this in the middle of the page and cutting it out, I just got the page in half, and that way I have a little bit more to work with. And actually it doesn't have to go this way, it can go up and down, it can go any way, because you're really treating it like a piece of art is what you're doing, or at least it's what I'm doing. And let's just cut this off here. And eventually I am going to round the edges and sew around it. But for right now, I'm getting the image set up. So it will be inside like so. Then I did get this one image here. I really liked that. I thought that would look really nice there in the middle. So that was one I had my eye on. So my circle is inside, or my window in the flap is done. And I went ahead and inked and sewed around the base card that we made with the words. And since the die cutting machine was out, and sometimes that takes effort, believe it or not, I went ahead and made a die cut out of the image instead of fussy cutting it. And I'm going to be placing that in the middle. And then I also got some of this deep purple grape color to make a frame out of it, and you simply put in, you know, I have graduating nesting circle die cuts, so you just put the two sizes in together and you get that. And I'll be gluing that around as a cute little frame. And now I can either glue or sew the pocket together. I am going to put a little a thumb notch up here. I do like to put thumb notches in so that I can see what's in there, or somebody can see what's in there more easily. So that'll be there. And I'm going to choose to sew it. That's the easiest for me. But if you don't have a sewing machine, you would be gluing here and gluing there. So I'm going to be doing that. Right, it's all sewn together. I'm going to be putting a tag in here and going to determine where I'm going to put this circle at. So let me just sort of think about how I want it to look. Kind of like it going up like that. Oh, and what I'm going to do, I think, too, before I even get that far, is I'm going to take a little bit of a glue stick and not put too much on it, just make it semi-sticky. So when I pull it out, it'll stay more where I want it. Oh, excellent. That's good. And then I can get a good idea of where to put it, and that looks just peachy keen. I like that. Let me come in here and start. So I will just glue it in place, kind of go around the edge, a little bit in the middle. Make sure I have all the edges taken care of. There we go. There. Very cute. So I think that makes a real nice tag. So this part will be almost done. I am going to put a tab onto the tag when I get done here. And just put this like so. Very cute. Very cute. All right. I'll put a scrap. And so here's a scrap here, and I'm going to get my whale punch and just make something that's got a little bit of drawing on it, you know. A little bit of greenery is nice. There we go. Just like so. Makes it kind of cute. And we'll glue on the tab. Just like so. Okay. Now before we glue this into the file folder, I want to make a second flip out. And the second one I am going to be making out of one page from Holden's book. So I'll be doing the same basic principle, only I'm going to use just the whole page here. And I might even cut this down just a tad. So I think I'm going to take off about 3/4 of an inch off the side, just so it's a wee bit shorter than this flip out tag here. So let me just put that together. And I just simply fold it within, oh, probably an inch allowing an inch there. I'm going to burnish that, and then I'm just going to fold this over there, and then even fold it over the end of that flap, just to create another flip out for the page. And I think actually I'm going to have it flip out this way. Yeah, I'm going to have it flip this way. Then I can put something here, maybe a fussy cut flower or something of that nature, maybe some lace or something to dress that up. Because as by itself as a page, it's a little dull and boring looking. And this way I can dress that up, and I will put in probably a little thumb notch here. Like that. And then I will sew, like I did on this one, I will sew around the bottom and the side, and then have these two glued together to flip out. Okay, so let me get that sewed up. I will miter the corners, and of course you could have glued that instead of sewing. And I'm going to glue the smaller flip out to the larger one here. Now I want to be careful not to go, not to cover up that spine. I want to glue right up to the edge of that first fold. And I want it to be pretty well even with, I see that the fold was a little uneven there, but that's all right. It'll still work good. And yeah, so that it'll be covered by the other one, like so. Right. Okay. And this is here because we're making another flip that's going to go this way. So by the time you fill your pocket in, and I'm also going to put a Tim Holtz, one of those little bracketed pockets there, so that this will be stuffed up. And anyways, it'll allow for a little bit more room because we put this in here like a secondary spine. And so I will glue this in to the file folder. Let me get this out of the way. And I'll go ahead and use my glitter glue. And I'm going to glue it right here up against that fold. But I do want to make sure that it has freedom to move. There we go. There, that's good. Just like so. Here is this. It's going to go in here like so. I want to make something to glue behind to flip over that way. And I would like to use a window envelope for this. Now I could just as easily make another pocket just like this, just like I've been making them for that flip. But I'm going to use a window envelope. And I don't have any new ones. All I have is really just junk mail envelopes. So I took one and I cut it down to about the size that I want for it. It's a little uneven there, I see, but we'll work around that. I cut it down, and I'm going to cover it. And now part of the cover, this is just paper, is all this is lightweight paper. And part of that paper is going to be the flap that fits underneath to make it, to give it a hinge. I'm going to do a method using the sewing machine. I'm going to give it a little little bit of glue, just enough to kind of like tack it down. I really don't like this Yoo-hoo stick, but I got it, so I'm using it up. All right, and I'm just going to tack it down with a little bit of glue over here on the edge. I will, before I sew, I'm going to put a slit right here in the middle with my scissors. And you'll see why in a minute. I'm just going to put a slit right in there. Doesn't have to be too big. There we go. Doesn't have to be neat or anything. Just put a slit in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew with my sewing machine right on the other side of that border. So this is where the paper ends. I'm going to sew right here. I'm going to put down a running stitch or a straight stitch. And I'm not going to make it curved. I'm going to make a square. So I'm going to sew down a square angle, and such. So I'm going to go sew around that area there. And when you see it, you'll see what I mean. Now, if you can see that, hopefully, oh, I gotta get my other lighter over here. I moved it to my machine. There we go. If you can see how I've sewn a square, and I've sewn just right, not, just about 1/8 of an inch on the other side of where that paper ends for that window. Okay. Hopefully you can see that well. And now that I have put my slit in there, I carefully go into the slit. And I'm going to cut, first of all, what I like to do is cut to the corners within about, and my goal is not to cut right against the stitching, because that would probably loosen the stitching and it'd be really kind of difficult. I am cutting about 1/8 of an inch to the inside of the stitching. So when I go to these corners, that's where I am stopping. And of course, you want to be aware not to go through your window on the other side. Oh, that's a little bit more difficult there. There. And then when I do that, I can sort of fold it back. All right, let's cut a better angle on that one there. There we go. I can kind of fold them back a little bit. And it just makes it a little easier, to cut up close. And so I'm going to come right through there. All right. And it's not going to be perfect, because, well, after all, this is shabby chic type of thing. I mean, we're not machines. This is made by hand, so it's okay that it's not absolutely 100% perfect. Just be as neat as you can, and it's all right. Don't think anyone's going to measure in detail. There. And then you have your window. So that is then your window envelope made out there. Now I want this to be the top, and so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to cut this right at the seam or right at the end of the envelope, because I want to make this kind of sturdy, because this is where my tag is going to go in and out. So I'm going to want to make a cut, a generous 1/2 inch on the other side of that. And of course, we're going to want to cut, you know, about 1 inch for our flap. So we'll cut against around this on this line, and we'll cut right around that line. So let me do that really fast over here. And oh, there's the ruler. I see it peeking up under the papers. Now it just runs and hides. Let me do the other one. Okay. So I have that. Now, if you were not going to, well, sew, like I plan to sew eventually, you can probably go in here and start gluing down the pocket here, especially on the bottom and over here on the side, like that. And then you're going to want to fold this down so that you can reinforce that, because we're working with paper here. You know, cardstock isn't quite doesn't need to be that well reinforced, but I think the paper does. So I am just going to go in here and get that done here. And I'm going to probably not make that, don't want to make the hinge with this top portion on it. And we'll just do this. Very nice. And then this here is our hinge, and I'll just go over it one more time to burnish it like that. And this will fold over, and again, you don't want to go all the way. You just want to be, you want to leave a little room for between that and the score line there. And burnish this down. Like that. And then I'll be sewing down here and across there. But then of course you can do the gluing too. And I think, and I also think that since this is paper, I think I'm going to add some washi tape here, just to reinforce that just a little bit. Just to make it a little sturdier in that bending area. I'll put some of this down there, like so. Yeah. Just to reinforce the hinge. There we are. And I'll go ahead, miter the corners. And I'm going to go around and sew that, and I'll be right back. All right, it's been sealed on those two sides, and now it's a little pocket. I have a piece of cardstock that I've cut to the size that I want. And the image I think that I want to put inside here is an offcut from one of the pages, and I think this would be really cute peeking out of the window right there. I like that idea. So on this side, I'm going to go ahead and glue down some words, just like I did with the other one. Okay. And cut it out right along here, like so. not sure I am going to sew around this tag. I think I might leave it plain for a change. All right. Make sure it's all glued down nice. So this butterfly is going to have to be offset because of the window is a little offset. So if the tag fits in about like this, and then this butterfly needs to come down right here in this area. So I'm just going to cut it off right here for now, and I can use this as a little tiny tag. It's cute. Just slip that in there. So yeah, I think this is very cute with that butterfly peeking out. So let me hold on to it and take it out. Okay, and just slip it in. Let's see, 2 lines over. That looks about right. And I'm going to go ahead and ink around the edges. And glue this down. So yeah, all those little scraps. They're just fun to find out. How am I going to use those little scraps up? There. There we go. And I do believe that's going to work out really cute with that little butterfly peeking out of there. And so I'm going to put a pocket here eventually, but I can go ahead now and glue this in with this. And let me just get this positioned first on the bottom. And I see this little line. I want this to be even with that line. Okay, so it's going to be something like this here. Let's see. This is going to go down. Right even with that one there. It's going to be right around in there someplace. So this guy is going to need to slip underneath this one. Right about like that. So I think that's the place for it. No, maybe over just a little bit. Just a little bit more over. Okay, maybe that'll be good. I'd experiment with that just a tad. All right, there you go. And that's how that'll flip, and then these two will flip over like so. And then I'm going to be putting the other pocket here, and probably will not be putting a pocket here. I'll probably decorate that with something. The tag that goes in here, I will probably need to, oh, I haven't made it yet, but the tag in here will probably pop up a little bit as well. So there you have it. Let me just get this glued in with the Fabri-Tac, and we'll have that side all completed. So the next time we come together, I am going to work on the little journal that sits in here, finish that part off, do some decorating, and then we'll be all done with this easy little folio. Stick it right in here. Just like that. Okay. Thanks so much for watching today. Next week or next video, we'll be doing some little decorations here and there, adding some elements to the folio. And after that will be the flip through, and we'll be finished with this. So thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day, and we will talk to you later. Bye. Send it to my email address, inkyowlstudio@gmail.com, which is down below in the description box. And just email me a few photos and a couple words about it. And I would be so happy to post that. And I'll let you know as an audience when I do make a post, so that you can hop over there and take a peek at whatever other people are working on. So I'm kind of hoping to make the community tab about that. So anyways, so please today go over and give Kristen some encouragement for the lovely project that she has so graciously shared with me and us. So I have following up now, I have pre-recorded what is coming up, and it is 3 projects, so it's a little bit longer than usual, but I do complete 3 different elements in the folio. So without further ado, let's get started.